Howdy, Bookish Bear here, and I'm going to do a kind of comic book wrap up for April. I I had to do it sitting on my floor because there are so many, and I had to spread them out. So it's a lot. So I'm just going to jump in and talk about all the stuff that I read and purchased in April as far as comics go. Like I said, I was out of work, so I am about 6 to 7 on some titles, 6 to 7 months behind. So a lot of issues. I had a really big pull list, so there's a lot of stuff that I want to read, and I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to read first and kind of prioritize that kind of stuff. So I found a really awesome website. It's called comiccollectorlive.com. So I usually get stuff online for Midtown. Midtowncomics.com, I believe, is the site, and I'll put the links to both of those sites in the comments, because they usually do at least 10 to 15% off of new titles, and it helps a little bit. My local comic shop is now about 20 to 30 minutes away. So, and the really good ones are about 40 to 50 minutes away. So that's really annoying. I used to just go pick up my pulls every week from the comic shop that was like 10 minutes away. So that's kind of annoying, making the trek to the shop. And the shops that I've been going to are sometimes out of the stuff that I want by the time I get there, even if I go on a Wednesday night. So it's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. So I've been ordering a lot of stuff online, midtowncomics.com, which is a comic shop in New York, I believe. But they do really good deals. They'll have really good sales sometimes. So I get stuff from them a lot. And like I said, comiccollectorlive.com is where I've been getting all these back issues, because it's sort of like an I guess like an Amazon or eBay for comic books. There's no bidding involved. It's just a lot of different people and comic book stores selling comics. But you can get them for pretty cheap. So most of these I got for between $1 to $2 each, which is way better than $4 each when you're trying to catch up on a bunch of books. So it's made it a lot easier, and made it so that I can actually get some of these books. The first two, I guess. So first, I guess I'll talk about the stuff that's more recent and actual, not kind of back issue stuff that I got this month, which is going to be. I got issue 4 and 5 of. A lot of this stuff is going to be bagged and board, so I apologize in advance for the glares and whatever. Issue 4 and 5 of Human Torch and the Thing, their hunt for the rest of the Fantastic Four. It's good. They're in the multiverse now, and they're going to different universes trying to find the Fantastic Four. Reed and Sue and their kids. They've got this lady with them who Ben Grimm randomly met in the first issue, if you remember, at the science thing. I think it was like a Reed Foundation thing or something. It's been a while since I read it. So he randomly met this woman, and she was kind of snarky, and she's become way snarkier now. I don't know if that's how the character was always meant to be, but it's like snarky to the point of like a little bit obnoxious for me. And I love a good snark. I'm really into Emma Frost, if that gives you an indication of my snarkometer. But she seemed really not into Spider-Man. I don't know. It was kind of weird. In issue 5, so she's helping them with the multiverse thing, and they're traveling through, and she has this thing that like can pick up Reed and Sue's energy or whatever. I don't know how the science the science is going on that. But she has ulterior motives, it seems, for why she wants to go to all these different multiverses, which is, I'm not going to spoil if you haven't read them. But yeah, this is it's fun. It's a fun book. I'm really enjoying it. They get to this multiverse and meet these alternate Sue and Richard, and that's always fun to do and see different alternate versions of the characters so well. So I'm really enjoying that book still so far. Hopefully it'll be wrapped up soon and they'll find them and whatever. I finally read X-Men Red. Again, glare. I finally read X-Men Red. I'm not a huge Jean Grey fan. I don't understand why most people are. She's fine. And this book is okay. I'm probably not going to read it. I might pick up the next couple issues and see if I like those. I think they're out now. But anyways, I might pick up 2 and 3, maybe give it an arc and see if I like it more. I'm just kind of over the whole X-Men as like underdogs where the world hates. I'm catching up on X-Men Gold, and there's a lot of that stuff in there, and I get that that's a really big part of the X-Men universe and their mythos and everything, but sometimes it just gets kind of daunting, like write something else. Anyways, that's just me. Of course, Wicked and Divine, the most recent issue, was awesome. I love that they're back to these covers with the face. I'm really into the design of this kind of cover. It's what kind of drew me to the book in the first place. So I'm glad that those are back. You can't really say much about each issue to issue, because they're full of spoilers. So just read it, because it's amazing. And then again, Runaways 7 and 8. I don't know if I talked about these last time in my last video, but 7 and 8, Doom shows up, and it's awesome, because I'm a huge Dr. Doom fan. And then New Mutants Dead Souls number 1 and 2. I'm fairly certain I talked about those in the last comic bin I did. So there's that. Like I said, X-Men Blue and Gold. So Amazon had a really great sale on Amazon did a really great sale of a bunch of trades, digital trades. So I got all of the X-Men Gold and Blue stuff that was on sale for like $1 or something, because that's much more affordable than buying all the issues. I think both are bi-monthly, so there's a lot of issues. There are already like 27 issues, where everything else there's only 6 or 7 issues. But that's a lot of stuff to get. So I'm trying to read them digitally, but I was missing I had up to issue 5, and then of course the trades go by issues of 6. So I needed issue 6 of both series, so I had to get the floppies of those, so I didn't have to buy the new, I don't know. So I didn't have to get the trades over again of stuff I already had just to read one issue. So I got those, and I've read this up to issue 12, and maybe a little more of Gold, and I'm still really enjoying it. I love Kitty as a leader. It's a cool team. The stuff with Rachel is kind of interesting. I just read up to the Mojoverse stuff, so I guess that would be the 3rd trade. So I'm catching up pretty quickly, because Amazon keeps putting them on sale, so that's awesome. Blue, I think I like Blue less. I don't know, and I think that it's ending soon, or that. Anyways, I think I read somewhere that the time-displaced young X-Men something's going to happen with them and they're gone. I don't really feel one way or another about it. It's been an interesting concept, and I'm surprised that they've stuck around this long, or as long as they have. It's interesting to me that they keep trying to rebuild the team to be more like the current or second generation of X-Men. So they added a alternate universe Wolverine, like a young alternate universe Wolverine son, to the mix, and they added a weird Storm version of Storm to the mix. So that's interesting to me that they want to do that. When the whole point was that it's the original X-Men, it's just these 5 kids. Anyways, it's pretty good. I like the whole Beast as or Hank as a magician thing. That's really interesting to me. So it's okay. I'm not caught up as much as I haven't read as much of that as I have of Gold yet, but still pretty good. Okay, other stuff. I got issue 5 of 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. If you haven't read this series, it's pretty amazing. It's just about these 4 kids that are going to rob a bank. They haven't gotten to the point. I think this is where they start planning the bank robbery in issue 5. It is 5, right? Yes. It's really, really good, and you should read it. And I finally picked up the 5th issue, which I think there are only 5 out as of yet. So, good stuff. These I haven't read yet. This is the stuff that I haven't read yet. Killed or Be Killed. I got issue 12 through 18, which I think is all that's out now. There might have been a new one since then. Got a cool variant of 17, which is just him. I guess he's going to a mental institution based on some of these covers. This is a really great book. Brubaker Phillips. The Brubaker Phillips team is... The Brubaker Phillips team is always on point. They always do excellent work. My personal favorite by them is Fatale still. It's just really creepy and weird and really good. I recently finally read the most recent one, the one before Kill or Be Killed. Dang it. What's it called? Anyways. The Fade Out. So I recently finally read The Fade Out, which was also really, really good. They just do really good, kind of weird. They just do really, really good work. And as a team, they're kind of unbeatable as far as I'm concerned. And Kill or Be Killed is up there as some of my favorite stuff that they've done. So probably like it as much as Fatale, which is my current favorite. And then I haven't read these yet. I got Paper Girls 16 through 20. I accidentally got... so the way I have to order from the Comic Collector Live site, it's an amazing site, and it's really easy to find cheap and good priced comics. But you kind of have to, not every store is going to have everything you need, so I have to kind of mix and match and see what I got, and I accidentally messed up and got 2 issues of 18 instead of an issue of 19, so I need to get 19 before I can read these, which is really frustrating because I would really like to read these because it's such a great book. I might need to go back and read because I opened up the page of 16 and I have no idea what's going on, and I don't know if that's intentional to the story or if I just forgot because I have an awful memory. Okay, the last thing that it's not the last thing. Okay, so I also caught up on Saga. Everybody reads Saga. Everybody knows Saga's great. Saga, let's see, 46 through 50. And now I'm caught up. I'm really liking the story. I really like this new character that they introduced, or that he introduced. This lady. I don't remember her name. Maybe they didn't say her name. Anyways, she's got this weird prism mask thing. She's just nuts. I don't know. She's kind of awesome. And I like the Will, her in the Will's kind of storyline that's going on there. Also, Gus has been pretty prominent, and he's, the best. this little seal guy, Gus. He's the best. So yeah, caught up on Saga. Anxious for issue 51. Still as great as it has ever been. So yeah, for Saga. Like I said, I'm not going to say a lot about Saga because everyone reads it and everyone knows it's great. So, Marvel stuff. So Marvel stuff I'm trying to catch up on, and there's a lot of Marvel books that I read. The first one that I decided to get was the Iron Man stuff because I was really into what Bendis was doing with Iron Man. So I got issue 11 and 12 of Infamous. I got issues 11 and 12 of Infamous Iron Man. This is the one where Doom, Victor Von Doom is taking over as Iron Man. He's kind of tracking down a bunch of old, he's kind of tracking down a bunch of villains, and these are the last two issues where all of that kind of comes together. There's a really weird twist in the end that just seemed so random and awesome, and I could see a lot of people not liking it, but I really did. I don't want to spoil it. I know this is months old at this point, but I really love this book. Malev's work, his artwork is really great. Bendis and Malev do great work together, so it looks really, really good. And yeah, I'm a Bendis fan, so I really love that book. I'm sad that it was kind of ended early, but I understand why. So the other Invincible Iron Man, so I got 10 and 11, and then it jumped to 593 for the Legacy thing. So this is the first series I read with that jump. Also, obviously the story doesn't change at all. It just jumps numbers, which can be confusing. And it is also making catching up on Marvel stuff really frustrating because I have to keep a detailed list of what the last number before the jump was. So it's not great. But so Riri, she in the first issue, she took so Doom left Latveria and it's kind of in disarray, and she sort of accidentally took over as Queen of Latveria, and I think that was really interesting. I think that I'm kind of torn between the idea that Riri is too young. Like, I think that she would be more interesting as an older character if she was like a 20-something dealing with all this stuff than like a kid. Like, as a grown human, it's just kind of boring for her to see a 16-year-old kid who's like, oh, I have a crush on this boy who lives next door to me. And I understand that Bendis created Riri for the purpose of like being a role model for a younger girls of color, and that's amazing, and I fully support that. But as a grown person, I wish she was a little older so I could relate a little more. But I don't understand why everyone hates this character. She's fine to me. I don't love her as much as I do Miles, for instance, or some other characters. But I am coming to like her more and more. I think that she's a good and interesting fit, and I think that this sort of like female-led group of women that are now running Stark industry between Mary Jane Watson and Tony Stark's lost mother and Friday the AI, and then Riri. And then we've got Tony Stark is in a coma after Civil War II. He's missing, and these are also telling the ongoing story of Doom as Iron Man, and everyone's like, you can't be Iron Man. Tony Stark is missing now. Tony Stark is back on his bullshit, is basically what's going on. He's out of his coma. Spoiler alert, he's out of his coma, but he's back on his bullshit. And he is not reaching out for help. I don't know why. Everyone's looking for him. Everyone wants to help him. There's this weird group of people from MIT who now have armor and are looking for him. They want to help him. They could help him. He's refusing to let them. Just more Tony Stark nonsense. So I'm still really enjoying the book. I'm really interested to see where it's going to go after Bendis leaves, and someone takes over, and see what they're going to do with Riri, and if that's going to be a character that sticks around or kind of goes to the sidelines. So the next book that I caught up on was Mighty Thor. So I got 22 and 23, and then it jumped to 700. Issue 700 of the Mighty Thor is really great. If you're a Thor fan, you should get this. It's a lot of different artists doing lots of different Thor stories, and it's really, really good. Lots of great artists. I was stoked to see Andrew McLean. You guys heard me talk about Headlopper and how much I love that. So he does that, and he drew a Loki story that's pretty awesome. So this is some of the best comics that are being written right now. Jason Aaron has been killing it on Thor for so long. The 10 realms are at war because of the evil, very dark fairy guy who, and they want to destroy Asgard and all the good realms. It's just really good. There's the whole Jane Foster drama where she's dying of cancer, and then Magog, this big crazy monster dude, is back and he's killing everybody. There was the whole War Thor with Heimdall becoming War Thor, which was awesome. There's this metal aspect, as in heavy metal, that kind of metal, dark, I'm gonna ride a dragon with a sword and whatever metalness that Jason Aaron is putting into Thor that's just really appealing to me, and probably a lot of different people. But it's just really good, and the way his writing is exceptional. I didn't look at the Eisner list yet, but hopefully he was nominated because it's exceptional, and he's taking over. I believe the Avengers, so I'm really excited to see what he's going to do there. But the Thor stuff, if you're not reading it, I highly recommend it. Last thing that I read and got caught up on is, of course, Miles with Spider-Man. I want to catch up on the Amazing Spider-Man stuff, but again, it comes out so often that it's really tough to try to purchase all that stuff. So Miles Morales, issue 19 through 21, and then it jumps to 2, 3, 4. Really good stuff. I didn't really care for the whole going to Japan thing that happened, but it's interesting to see his uncle back. It's interesting to see the new Sinister Six and kind of what's going on with Bombshell and her mom. So yeah, I again still really enjoying the Miles stuff. Interested to see on who's going to take over the book and what they're going to do with it after Bendis leaves. And that is, oh no, it's not. I was going to say that's the end of my comic call, but it's not. So, and then, like I said, with my last video, someone from BRI sent me a bunch of book stuff because I randomly won this thing, and she sent me the book that I talked about earlier, and then she sent me a few comic books, and these are really interesting because it's stuff that I have seen but wouldn't really pick up, and I've heard people talk about. The first was Dodge City, which is really cute, and it's about these people playing dodgeball. There's this cute little deaf guy. Lots of diverse characters, different kind of a view a bunch of different kinds of people, which is interesting and always cool. I might pick up another issue of this and see if I still like it, because it's cute. It's pretty good. But I would never have bought that on my own, so that's really awesome. And then the first, 4 issues of Goldie Vance, which I have to admit I wasn't a huge fan of. I don't know what it is about. Again, I think precious is a word that people would use to describe this, or derogatorily. And it's just a little too cute and cutesy and precious for me. I like stuff with a little more grit. But I could understand why. I mean, I will probably definitely pass these on to a younger reader who would be more interested in them than I am, because I could see how a young girl would be into this. Like, it's sort of like a what's her name? You know, it's just this young girl, Goldie Vance. She's solving crimes with this. He's kind of cute. He's like the hotel detective. She works and lives in a hotel, I guess. There's some car race stuff. It's cute. It wasn't my favorite, and like I said, I'll probably maybe pass it on to some younger kids who might enjoy it more than I did. But I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that I got to read it, because I probably wouldn't have purchased it myself, like I said. So that's awesome. Thanks again to Book Lover. And that is my comic haul. So just lots of comics. I also got, like I said, some digital stuff that I read through, mostly X-Men stuff. Astonishing X-Men. I read the first 6 issues of that, and I'm digging that. I need to pick up more of those. So that's my comic book haul for April, and hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want to talk about any of this stuff, then just talk to me in the comments, and thanks for watching.